Hi, welcome to Infinity Learning. My name is Niranjan. Today we are going to look at Apache Camel routes. The core feature of Apache Camel is routing and mediation engine. The routing engine selectively moves any message from one point to another point based on the routing configurations which are written in DSL, domain specific languages. Routes are basically configured in the combination of EIPs and DSL. Camel is basically offers multiple DSLs in regular programming languages such as Java DSL, Spring DSL, and Scala DSL. Along with these DSLs, we can also configure routes using XML. Now let's look at how to add routes to Apache Camel. There are two basic steps to define and add a routes to Apache Camel. The step one, create Apache Camel context and then add a routes to context using add routes method. We can create routes using route builder class from Apache Camel, which has got method called configure, which allows us to define routes. Then create an instance of this class and add to camel using add routes method. We can also instantiate anonymous route builder class and add routes. Now let's implement what we have learned so far. I have Spring Boot application with Maven dependency Apache Camel, and Apache Camel version is 3.1.0. Before we create camel context, let's create a route using route builder class. I am going to create a class and I name it my route, and this is going to extend route builder class from camel. Import from the camel and add an unimplemented method called configure. And in the configure method, now we are going to define our routes. I'm going to start with from direct start and to file and target. This route basically creates a file with the content received from the from endpoint. Now we have a class called myRoute which extends route builder, and we have implemented a configure method and we have defined our route. Now let's create a camel context. Context is equal to new default camel context, and we import that from Apache Camel. Let's add a routes to Apache Camel using add route method on context. Create an instance of the route class we created previously. Throws an exception. We now added a route to context. Now let's start a context using start method on context object. Let's create a producer template which will allow us to send a data to the endpoint. Import producer template. Now we will send a data to our direct start endpoint using send body method on producer template. Direct start. The body is string, anything. I'm using just a string here. Hello, welcome to Apache Camel routing. Now we have created an Apache Camel context and we have added a route which we have created previously, which is my route. And we are actually started a context, and with producer template we are sending data to our endpoint direct start. Let's run our Spring Boot application and see the output. It has built successfully. Let's look at the output in target folder. Refresh the target folder. Here it is created a file and it has written the data we sent. Now look at the other way of adding routes to Apache Camel context. Let's create context using default camel context. Let's import it, and I'm going to add a routes using add route method, and here I am going to instantiate an anonymous inner route builder class. I'm going to import that and implement configure method. It throws an exception. I'm going to define a route from direct start point and to the file target. So this is again is going to create a file with the content received from the from endpoint. I'm going to use producer template again to send the data to direct start endpoint. Once it is created, let's send a body direct start and a string which has to be returned to the file we create. So we need to create a context, and we have added a route using instantiating a route builder class inside the method, and we have created a producer template, and we are sending our data to direct start endpoint. We need to start Apache Camel context using start method, and then we will run our application. We should be seeing the same output as we saw previously because we are using the same routes. It has created a file. Let's see, refresh the project, go to the target and see, yes, it has created a file with the content we sent through producer template. These are the two ways to add routes to camel. Thank you for watching. See you in the next session.